Meet me. Well, hello, Glue Troopers. Max of Max's Models here. I have one whole day off from the simulator, and I came home to take care of a few things. And while I was watching some videos, I decided I would go ahead and just make a real quick one. And today is going to have a little bit of a Canadian theme to it, just total coincidence. I was watching a talking head named Peter Zion, who is sort of a global strategist, and I was told to watch him some time ago by a Canadian. That was Fast Sports, Scale Car Garage. And ever since I got that little tip, I watch his videos regularly, both Fast Sports and Peter Zion. But Peter Zion was talking about things that Canada faces, challenges and everything in the video. I'll link it below if you're interested. But real interesting guy, a lot of interesting stuff. And I thought, well, it's kind of funny that this video was posted about Canada. I was recommended to watch this guy's videos by a Canadian. Canadians build a lot of models, and I had just watched a video that I believe was made in Canada, according to the tag on YouTube, about the history of the kit model Starship Enterprise. And it's a great video if you have any interest in kit model history or in Star Trek, either one. I recommend you go watch this video. Again, link below. Now, I did one, but it's not this detailed. This guy really did a great job. And I was thinking about how, because this is one of the things, getting back to Peter Zion sort of touched on a little bit about the Canadian-American relationship, I started thinking about the time, well, one of the times that America blackmailed Canada. And that was something we talked about on this channel, the Bomarc. And I can't really look at the box art of the Bomarc I've got, or the Bomarc, that very kit that I have on the shelf that Ken made. He actually built that one. It's one of the only models, maybe the only model on the shelf that I didn't build that I display. And the whole story we talked about earlier about how America basically blackmailed Canada into allowing Bomarc bases in Canada, because pretty much said, well, if you don't put them there, we'll have to put them in the US, and that means they'll wind up detonating somewhere over Canada instead of, maybe over your major cities, because they'll have to launch from much further south, limited range. And so, between Russia and the United States, the poor Canadians really are literally caught in the middle. And since a lot of model builders are basically amateur historians, we kind of can't help but see the history behind things. So now when I look at this beautiful vintage box art of the Bomarc, or the wonderful job Ken did building that Bomarc for me, all I can think about is how the poor Canadians basically got blackmailed into putting them into their country. And just the whole thing behind it. And of course also how a lot of the AMT molds and Aurora molds wound up in Canada being manufactured up there, so that they didn't have to pay the import duties, and they could go, because Canada was part of the Commonwealth, the kit models could be shipped to England without having to pay the import duties and stuff like that. And of course, thinking of Star Trek, one other Canadian link is that both Bill Shatner and Jimmy Doohan are Canadian. And then I started thinking about, a lot of people know, but Jimmy Doohan was missing a finger that he lost fighting in the Canadian military in World War II. So it's just, how my mind works, all these little things that are intertwined. And today they just sort of all seem to have this sort of Canadian theme to them. And just thought, well, that's cool. I love Canada. So that was just where my mind drifted. So I thought I would share it. Oh, by the way, another point real quick. I went ahead and decided to partially disassemble, pretty much mostly disassemble, and glue the Volkswagen, the Airfix snap-type Volkswagen kit together, because it just didn't stay. Those snap-tights didn't have a very tight bond. So now, by golly, this thing it's not coming apart again, and everything's in there right. And I put in the two decals or decals that I'd on the inside that I'd forgotten to put in before. So that's what we've got for today. Tomorrow morning, I'm back down to Orlando, the training center, back in the sim, and the beatings will resume until morale improves. Well, guys, that's where we're at right now. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves. And as always, model on.